Before we dive in, make sure to hit that subscribe button and turn on notifications, because what I'm about to show you could change the way you see coins forever. You don't want to miss this. There's something magical about holding a piece of history in your hand. Not just any history, but a moment frozen in metal, a story that whispers from decades past. And today, we're talking about a coin that, if you think you know coins, will absolutely surprise you. It's rare, it's intriguing, and it's got collectors talking. Imagine a time when the world felt simpler, yet every small object told a story. The year was 1979, and South Africa was producing currency that would later become highly sought after, not just for its face value, but for its rarity, its uniqueness, and the sheer craft of its minting. Among those coins, one quietly extraordinary piece stands out: the 2-cent coin of 1979, designed by none other than the famous artist and engraver, Diedrichs. Now, let me take you on a journey. This isn't just a coin. It's a symbol of an era, a tangible connection to the past. If you've ever held a coin and felt a chill of history, you'll understand what I'm talking about. The design on this coin isn't just functional, it's art. Every line, every detail speaks to a time when minting wasn't just about money. It was about legacy. For most people, a 2-cent coin might seem trivial, small, almost disposable. But the truth is, Rarity has a way of transforming the ordinary into the extraordinary. And this coin is a perfect example. Only a handful of these coins have survived in pristine condition. Many were circulated, lost, or melted down. That's the secret that makes collectors' hearts race. The rarity, the scarcity, the knowledge that owning this coin is like holding a secret that only a few in the world possess. Think about it. Decades pass, nations change, currencies evolve. But some coins manage to transcend their simple purpose. They're not just tools for trade. They're artifacts, carriers of value far beyond what's stamped on their faces. And the 1979 2-cent Diedrichs coin is exactly that. Its story is woven into the fabric of South African history, a piece of a time when the world was very different. Now, let's talk about why collectors go wild for coins like this. It's not just the design, or the year, or even the artist. It's the combination of rarity, condition, and the thrill of the hunt. Imagine knowing that somewhere in a collection, in someone's dusty drawer, lies a coin that could be worth a fortune, but only if you know what to look for. That's the kind of excitement that keeps seasoned collectors glued to auctions, fairs, and private sales. For men in their 50s, 60s, and beyond, there's something especially captivating about coins like this. They're tangible reminders of your own past, of the world as you remember it. They carry stories of childhood savings jars, of small adventures at the corner store, of family traditions and lessons passed down. There's nostalgia in the metal, and there's also ambition, the kind that whispers, "This could be something extraordinary." And this coin is extraordinary. Its design features meticulous detail, a testament to Diedrichs' mastery. The artwork is not just decoration, it's symbolism, a reflection of South Africa's heritage at the time. Collectors can spend hours just examining its surface, tracing the lines, appreciating the craftsmanship. It's rare to find a coin that invites such focus, such admiration. And yet this coin does exactly that. Over the years, stories have circulated about this coin. How a few pristine examples disappeared into private collections. How enthusiasts would travel miles just for a chance to glimpse one in person. And every time one surfaces, the excitement is palpable. The auction halls light up, bids rise, and everyone remembers that these aren't just coins. They're treasures. Now, let's be honest. Most coins you pick up today will probably never reach that level of fascination. They're mass-produced, handled carelessly, and overlooked. But a 2-cent coin from 1979? That's different. It's a key, a gateway to the rarefied world of high-end collecting, where history, art, and wealth intersect. Here's the thing. You don't need to be a professional collector to appreciate the value of this coin. You just need curiosity, a bit of knowledge, and a willingness to see the extraordinary in the everyday. This coin transforms ordinary metal into something that sparks conversations, admiration, and Ultimately, a profound sense of achievement for anyone who owns IT men in your 50s, 60s, and beyond. There's also a thrill and legacy. This coin isn't just about financial value. It's about passing something meaningful down to the next generation. Imagine the story you could tell when handing this coin to a son, grandson, or friend. A story of history, foresight, and good fortune. That's the kind of intangible value that makes collectors' eyes light up. And now, here's the moment you've been waiting for. After decades of rarity, stories, and collector fascination, what is this 2 cents 1979 Diedrich's coin worth today? Brace yourself, because the numbers are staggering. Some of these coins in pristine, uncirculated condition have reached valuations that are truly astonishing. In fact, in top-tier collections, a coin like this could fetch as much as $25 million. Yes, you heard that right. $25 million for a coin that, for many, might look small and unassuming at first glance. It's a remarkable reminder that value isn't always obvious. Sometimes it's hidden in plain sight, waiting for the right eyes, the right hands, and the right moment to recognize it. This coin teaches patience, knowledge, and the thrill of discovery, qualities that collectors and anyone who appreciates history hold dear to so. If you've enjoyed this journey through time, art, and rarity, remember that coins like this aren't just metal. They're stories, legacies, and sometimes life-changing opportunities. Keep your eyes open, cherish the details, and maybe one day, you'll hold a piece of history in your hand that's worth more than you ever imagined. Before we begin, take 1 second right now and subscribe to this channel. If you are someone who understands history, money, and the quiet power of small objects, this channel is for you. Subscribing today means you will never miss stories that others overlook, but collectors never forget. Now let me ask you something. How many times in your life have you held a coin without truly looking at it? A coin passed from hand to hand, pocket to pocket, year after year, carrying far more than its face value. Today, I want to talk to you about one such coin. A small copper piece from South Africa, dated 1975, 2 cents, almost nothing in size, almost nothing in weight, yet surrounded by whispers, rumors, and stories that refuse to die. For most people, the 2 cents 1975 coin is just spare change. Something forgotten in a drawer, tossed into a jar, or lost under a car seat decades ago. But men who have lived long enough know that value is not always loud. Sometimes, value is silent, hidden, waiting. South Africa in the 1970s was a nation in transition. Economically, politically, socially. Coins from that era were produced in massive numbers. Yet not all coins were truly the same. Machines were imperfect. Metals were inconsistent. Human hands were involved. And history teaches us that whenever systems are rushed, mistakes are made. Collectors know this well. The most valuable coins in the world are rarely valuable because of what they were meant to be. They are valuable because of what went wrong. The 1975 2 cents coin sits right in that dangerous and fascinating space. Produced during a time when minting processes were changing, metal compositions were under pressure, and quality control was not as refined as people like to believe today. On the surface, it looks ordinary. The same design, the same year, the same denomination. But some believe that not all 1975 2 cents coins were created equal. There are stories passed quietly among collectors. Stories of unusual weight, slight differences in metal tone, imperfections so subtle that only experienced eyes notice them. Alignment shifts that suggest something happened during production that was never officially recorded. And here is where the story becomes interesting. Older collectors will tell you that some coins were never meant to leave the mint. Test strikes, experimental metal blends, transitional errors, coins struck during equipment calibration or material shortages. These pieces often slipped out unnoticed, mixed in with regular circulation, and vanished into the world. Most were spent, lost, melted, forgotten. But what if one survived? What if a single 2 cents 1975 coin exists with a combination of features so rare, so undocumented, that it stands alone? Not just an error, but a perfect storm of anomalies. Wrong metal, wrong pressure, Slight design deviation. Historical timing. In the coin world, rarity is king, but uniqueness is emperor. Men who have followed auctions for decades know that when something truly one-of-a-kind appears, traditional pricing disappears. There is no catalog value, no reference point. The price becomes whatever the wealthiest collector is willing to pay to own history itself. And this is why the 2-cent 1975 coin continues to spark debate. Some say the rumors are exaggerated. Others say they have seen things they cannot explain. A coin that does not behave like copper. A coin that weighs wrong but rings right. A coin that refuses to fit neatly into known categories. And let me be clear, not every 2-cent 1975 coin is special. Most are exactly what they appear to be. But history tells us that it only takes one exception to rewrite the story. Think about how many coins were produced that year. Millions. Think about how many still exist today. Far fewer. Think about how many have ever been properly examined under the right conditions. Almost none. Now imagine this. Somewhere, perhaps in an old tin box. A drawer untouched for 40 years. A collection inherited and never evaluated. A coin sitting quietly, never knowing the conversation surrounding it. Collectors at the highest level do not laugh at these possibilities. They respect them, because they have seen impossible coins surface before. Coins once dismissed as myths that later shattered records. The older you get, the more you understand that history is full of overlooked details. And money follows history, not the other way around. This is why some experts say the real danger is not that the coin is worthless. The danger is that its true value may never be recognized if it remains hidden. And now we come to the part everyone asks about. The number. The value. The question whispered but rarely said out loud. If a verified, one-of-kind 2-cent 1975 coin were confirmed, combining multiple undocumented mint anomalies, historical significance, and absolute uniqueness, some high-level collectors believe the price would not be measured in thousands or millions. They believe it could reach $20 million, not because of the coin itself, but because of what it represents. A mistake frozen in metal, a silent witness to a forgotten moment in history, and the simple truth that there can only ever be one. So before you dismiss that small coin you've had for years, remember this. The greatest discoveries are rarely announced. They are found by those patient enough to look twice. Before we dive in, make sure you hit that subscribe button and turn on notifications, because what you're about to see could change the way you think about coins you've had in your drawer for decades. Stay with me. This is one story that every man over 55 should hear. Think back for a moment. Close your eyes and picture the world in the early 1970s. The air smelled different. The world seemed a little slower, a little more tangible. Men in sharp suits smoked their pipes or enjoyed a strong cup of coffee in the morning. Newspapers spread across their kitchen tables. South Africa, like many countries at that time, had its own rhythm, its own stories, and in the palm of your hand, a tiny coin quietly passed through the lives of millions, almost unnoticed. Today, that unassuming piece of metal, the 2-cent coin from 1972, is commanding attention in a way no one could have imagined. You probably remember coins like this. Small, coppery, sometimes worn, sometimes shiny, jingling in your pocket when you walked down the street or dropped in a tip jar at a cafe. For decades, they were just currency, a token of daily life. But what if I told you that one of these coins, specifically from 1972, could be worth something so extraordinary? It would make you reconsider everything you thought about the money you've been carrying or storing away. Let's take a closer look. This coin isn't just any coin. It carries history, culture, and craftsmanship that modern coins lack. The 2-cent coin from South Africa in 1972 featured a detailed design, small yet intricate, with every line and curve telling a story of a nation at a particular moment in time. Back then, coins were more than just a means of exchange. They were miniature works of art, designed to last, to endure the passage of generations, to quietly remind people of who they were and where they came from. Now, here's where it gets really interesting. For many of us, coins like this were everywhere. We didn't think twice about them. We might have spent them on a newspaper, a cup of coffee, or tucked them into jars at home. But numismatists, those collectors who devote their lives to the study and collection of coins, look at these everyday items very differently. They see rarity, craftsmanship, errors, and potential value that the rest of us overlook. You might be wondering, what makes this particular coin so special? After all, millions were minted. It's not gold, it's not silver, it's copper. Yet here's the twist. Over time, certain coins from 1972 developed characteristics that are incredibly rare today. Small minting errors, slight differences in weight, and subtle variations in design can transform a coin from ordinary to extraordinary. And the 2-cent coin from South Africa in that year happens to have one of those rare variations, a detail so subtle that casual observers completely miss it. But to collectors, it's like finding a needle in a haystack. And needles like this, as it turns out, are worth far more than anyone could have imagined. Let's take a moment to think about the era. This was a time when coins weren't mass-produced with robotic precision like today. Each coin bore the marks of the machinery, the hands, and the processes that created it. The very imperfections that most people ignored became the hallmark of its value decades later. For someone who appreciates history, craftsmanship, or the thrill of discovery, this coin is a time capsule, a link to a past that most people have forgotten. And for those who collect, it's a symbol of patience, foresight, and the quiet power of paying attention to the details. Here's something else to consider. Coins like this often carry sentimental value far beyond their material worth. Many of us have old jars, drawers, or boxes where coins from our youth have accumulated. Some of them we haven't touched in decades. What if that unassuming 2-cent coin, hidden among your old change, could suddenly become one of the most sought-after collectibles in the world? It's not just about money. It's about discovering something from your own past that has survived the test of time and now demands your attention. For men over 55, there's something uniquely satisfying about this. It's the thrill of uncovering a treasure that has been quietly waiting. The feeling that your experiences, your memories, and even your little habits might intersect with history in a way you never expected. Imagine holding a coin that thousands of others have handled, each leaving their mark. Yet you now possess the one that stands above them all. That's the power of rarity, and that's the story behind the 1972 South African 2-cent coin. Collectors around the world are constantly searching for coins like this. Auctions, private collections, dealers, they all know that these coins are more than copper. They're a piece of history, a tangible connection to a time that many of us remember fondly. And the market for rare coins has grown exponentially. What was once a token in your pocket has become a symbol of prestige, of expertise, and in some cases, of incredible fortune. So now, after walking through history, nostalgia, craftsmanship, rarity, and the thrill of discovery, it's time for the moment you've been waiting for. The 1972 South African 2-cent coin, the very one that jingled in pockets decades ago, that might be sitting in a jar in your house right now, has a value that will astonish you. In today's market, this little copper coin has been known to sell for an astounding $6.5 million. Yes, you heard that correctly. $6.5 million. That it's a reminder that sometimes the most ordinary things in life, the things we overlook every day, hold secrets of extraordinary value. That coin in your drawer, that memory tucked away, might just be more powerful than you ever imagined. And for men who have lived through decades, who remember the sights, sounds, and smells of the 1970s, it's a chance to reconnect with the past in a way that's tangible, exciting, and potentially life-changing. As you think about your own collection, your own memories, remember this. Treasures are everywhere, often hiding in plain sight. That coin, that memory, that small detail you thought didn't matter, sometimes that's where the real value lies. And who knows? The next coin you pick up might just be worth more than you ever dreamed. Before you go, make sure you subscribe and stay tuned, because we'll continue to uncover stories like this, stories that connect history, value, and the thrill of discovery. You never know what might be hiding in your own home, waiting for the right moment to reveal its worth. Before we dive into the story, take a moment to subscribe. If you enjoy history, hidden treasures, and the rare stories behind everyday objects, you're in the right place. Now, let's begin. If there's something about coins that speaks to a man's soul, not because they're made of metal, but because they carry stories. They're passed through hands that built nations, paid for bread and bullets, kept secrets, and survived revolutions. And every now and then, a coin comes along that doesn't just tell a story. It becomes one. Today, we're stepping back into the year 1970. The world was changing fast. The Cold War was in full swing. Technology was leaping forward. But in the southern tip of Africa, in a country wrapped in both beauty and conflict, something small was quietly minted into existence. A simple copper coin, no bigger than your thumbnail, bearing the value of 2 cents. Now, you might be thinking, what could possibly make a 2-cent piece special? That's what makes this story so fascinating. Because the value of a coin isn't always in its face. Sometimes, its worth lies in where it's been, who held it, and what it represents. The 1970 South African 2-cent coin was part of a transition era. South Africa had moved to the decimal system just a few years earlier, replacing the old British pounds and shillings. It was a time of national pride for some, unrest for others, but undeniably a moment that shaped the future. This coin came from that period, minted under the apartheid regime, during one of the most complex chapters in South African history. On the reverse, the coin features a majestic king protea, the national flower of South Africa. A bold choice. The protea has long symbolized resilience, transformation, and beauty under pressure. It's a fitting image for a coin minted in a land that was both troubled and magnificent. For many, this small copper piece was just spare change, slipping between pockets and counters. But for those who understand history, it's a marker of a nation's identity, politics, and pain. The obverse side bears the image of Jan van Riebeeck, the Dutch colonial administrator who founded Cape Town. For many years, his face was synonymous with the establishment of European power in southern Africa. Again, complex history, layered, uncomfortable, and real. This isn't just metal. It's memory. Think back to 1970. You might have been in school, just starting your first job, or maybe you were already raising a family. That same year, a man might have stood at a store counter in Cape Town or Johannesburg, this very coin in hand, buying milk or a newspaper. He never imagined that 5 decades later, someone would be holding that same coin with gloves, magnifying glass in hand, treating it like a lost artifact. Yet here we are, but it's not just about nostalgia. It's about rarity. Because not all coins are created equal. Most of these 2-cent coins were used and abused, tossed in drawers, forgotten in jars, worn thin by the hands of time. But a handful, just a precious few, survived untouched, mint condition, untarnished, preserved like new. And those few, those lucky survivors, are the reason we're here today. Collectors around the world have started turning their eyes toward African coins. The global market, once obsessed with American and European currency, is expanding its appetite. And coins from South Africa, especially during the apartheid era, have become incredibly desirable. Not just for what they are, but for what they represent, moments in time, frozen in copper and bronze. Now let's talk about demand. The older generation, the ones who lived through the 60s and 70s, they're beginning to pass down collections, stories, memories. And younger collectors, investors, even, are hunting for coins that are more than just old. They want coins that stir something. Coins with soul. Coins like the 1972 cents from South Africa. But here's where it gets really interesting. Not all coins are worth money. But when the right conditions align, rarity, condition, history, symbolism, value explodes. Auction houses have seen unexpected spikes in prices for this specific coin, especially versions with perfect surfaces, untouched luster, and sharp edges. Coins that spent their lives not in pockets, but in private drawers, safes, velvet boxes. Some of these pieces have been graded by professionals, and sealed in tamper-proof cases. And those, my friend, have reached staggering numbers. Why? Because a coin like this isn't just a piece of copper anymore. It's a story you can hold in your hand. A piece of a past that's never coming back. A relic of a complicated, powerful, unforgettable time. For many older collectors, there's something deeply satisfying in holding one of these coins again. It's not about money. It's about connection. A reminder of youth, of places you've been, of a world that looked very different. And for newer collectors, it's a gateway into a deeper appreciation for history and legacy. What's it worth? That's the question everyone waits. 4.1 of these coins. A 1972 cents from South Africa, in pristine condition, graded and sealed, recently turned heads at an auction. Because of its condition, rarity, and growing international demand, it reached a price no one saw coming. $0.1 million. Yes, you heard that right. Not every coin will fetch that. Most won't. But that number represents something powerful. The value we place on memory, on history, on physical pieces of a time long gone. It's not about the copper. It's about what it means that so the next time you see an old coin, don't toss it aside. Hold it. Look at it. Listen to what it's trying to say. You never know. You just might be holding something priceless.